Today on the channel, we only got room for the best of the best of 2023, and in today's video, we're counting down my top 10 favorite AEW figures of 2023.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Best of the Best Top 10 Countdown as we close off 2023. And in today's video, we're counting down my top 10 favorite AEW figures of 2023. And for those keeping track at home, we're talking Unrivaled, we're talking Unmatched, we're talking Supremes, we're talking Walmart and Target exclusives, we're talking Ringside collectible exclusives. Anything and everything AEW Jazzwares 2023 is fair game for this countdown. And as usual, make sure you get your list in the comments down below. Start at number 10, work your way to number 1, number 1 being your absolute favorite. And of course, this is my list. Put your list down below. In AEW, it's been an up and down year with AEW. Some of the best figures we got in wrestling, and some quirky designs, some things that maybe missed the mark, just kind of all over the map, trying to find its footing. Will we continue on with Target, Walmart, inventory? Will Ringside be the predominant place? What's going on with this vault? What will come in 2024? There's a lot of unanswered questions, and I guess we'll find those out in 2024 as we go along. But I gotta say, as much gripe and as much flack the online social media community, whatever you want to call it, does for AEW figures, we always got to take that business step back, and I do see them trying out there. I think just the biggest thing is it's not Mattel, and that's what everybody wants to compare it to Mattel. Easy comparison, of course, both wrestling leagues, WWE, AEW, both toy companies, Jazzwares, Mattel. But that's where a lot of the fan base and stuff kind of ends right there. As, of course, Mattel has the Elite line and so forth, everything WWE, and there's a lot of different generations of fans with the WWE. And what I see for AEW, it's almost like that UFC fan base. Not quite as extreme as UFC, but AEW just doesn't have the years of fan base the WWE does. Obviously, it hasn't been around as long, but WWE has fans from little kids to very old people. All those 104-year-olds out there loving the WWE. Where AEW feels kind of like it sits in that 20 to maybe 45 range. Not a ton of kids, not a ton of old people. That could change, that could ebb and flow over the years, but I think that is what hurts, primarily at retail, some of their action figure sales compared to Mattel. It's just one of those kind of things out there. So it hasn't performed probably as well as Jazzwares would have liked it to perform at the Walmarts, Targets of the world, but we know Ringside has a pretty strong fan base over there, and I think a lot of the fan base from AEW knows to go to the place like Ringside Collectibles, and I do think they will adapt and overcome to go to the new Vault collection that's coming next year as well. So we'll see where AEW figures go in 2024, but 2023 had some amazing figures. We're going to talk about them, and we're going to start it off at number 10. We begin the countdown at number 10, and for number 10 spot, we go to AEW Unmatched. We go to Series 7. We go for a return of the line. We go to Pac. And now Pac, an all-timer, a guy that has some visa issues, has some injury issues over the last couple of years, but one of the best early stars of AEW and a name brand star, of course, coming over from WWE, and an indie darling in a lot of ways. But he came back in AEW Unmatched Series 7. After maybe a little lackluster of a figure in his first go-around, they killed it the second go-around. To me, this is Pac all day long. I love the extra head sculpts we got with this one. We got the full-on blindfold going on. We got the eye patch version, and we got the regular version. You can mix and match between the other figure if you want to fix that one up a little bit. Just a very cool figure, and one of those figures that feels amazing in hand. I always love how this one feels, just holding onto it. He's got a good feel to it, a good size, just an all-around really good figure. And that's why Pac Unmatched 7 comes in at number 10. Next up, we got the number 9 spot in the top 10 AEW figures of 2023 countdown, and number 9 is a guy that's no stranger to these AEW countdown lists, but he is coming in here at number 9 from AEW Unmatched Series 7. We've got another member of Death Triangle. we've got Penta. And Penta, like I said, no stranger to any of these lists. Some of the best AEW figures of all time came for us from Penta here, but the red and black attack, man, oh man, is this a good looking figure. You add all the colorful tattoos, little face paint, a little mask action, you're playing all the hits for me at the end of the day. Just a very, very solid figure. Love that we got Death Triangle in Unmatched Series 7. Just an all-time good Penta figure. That's why it's coming in at number 9, my top 10 list. As usual, we're feeling great at number 8, and maybe I'm feeling a little bit better than some of you guys and gal after this next selection here, as this is a very controversial, one of the most controversial AEW figures this year, no doubt about it. I, for one, absolutely love this figure from the get-go. A lot of people did not, though, as I did say, and we're going to Walmart, we're going to the AEW exclusive, Chris Jericho. Now, obviously, I think a lot of us can agree we love the different Chris Jericho here. The purple shoes, the black pants, just a very Toyotic looking figure, a very cool looking figure. I think we'd all agree right there. Where things are lost, though, is on Chris Jericho and the head sculpt and the face. A lot of people hate this. A lot of people do not think it looks like Chris Jericho. I've heard people say it looks like me. I've heard people say it looks like Kid Rock. I've heard people say it looks like everything under the sun, I guess I won't repeat here. But to me, getting this in hand, looking at it, I think it looks like Chris Jericho to me. There was a moment in time that this comes from. Chris Jericho had this face look, and if you guys remember, Chris Jericho's body style and body shape has really changed from AEW over the course of the last few years. He's been up and down in weight, different sizes going on, and that includes his face. And if you go back to this really does look like Chris Jericho to me. Once again, this is my list, but I don't have any issues with this one. I think this is a great figure. I think this is actually an underrated figure, and like I said, I know a lot of people don't like it, but to me, I see Chris Jericho all day long in this one, and I really do like this figure, and that's why it's coming in at number 8 in my top 10 countdown. All right, we're at the number 7 spot in our top 10 countdown, and the number 7 selection here is a special one for me. Of course, one of my all-time favorite performers, going all the way back to when I was a little kid. Always cool to get him, but also him being an exclusive, also him being in a deluxe packaging style, and the memories surrounding getting this figure all add up to a really good day at the office for old KP right here. And coming in at number 7, we're going to San Diego Comic-Con, beautiful this time of year, for the Sting exclusive. Of course, a great looking Sting figure, soft goods, deluxe packaging, extra accessories, a lot of bells and whistles from this one, makes it stand out, of course. We've got a few Stings, not as varied as maybe we would like them to be, but still a very cool one. Of course, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, makes it a little bit extra special. Waiting in line, talking with good friend of the channel, Jeremy Padower, who helped me snag one of these while I was waiting in line. Very good, shout out to good brother Jeremy. And you'll see more of Jeremy in my upcoming Jack's Classic Superstars book, as I did have some meetings with Jeremy, and he will be involved and a part of this book in there, so make sure you read the whole thing cover to cover. There you go. But more to come on that book very, very soon. Stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, social medias, all that kind of fun stuff. That's neither here nor there. We're talking Sting, though, at number 7. But like I said, a very good Sting, but a different Sting, a little different face paint, soft goods. We don't always get that. Then by paint by numbers by Sting for the most part. But the deluxe packaging, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, really a fun one here. And for a long-time Stinger in the home stretch, really hits home for me. So this Sting coming in hot at number 7. Next up, we're at the number 6 spot in the top 10 AEW countdown, and fittingly enough, this one comes from AEW Unmatched Series 6, and this guy is one of my favorite performers over the last decade or so. I don't know if he's getting all the shine he should in AEW. I guess that's to be written here in 2024, but of course, representing the House of Black, we've got Malachi Black, and I go way back with Malachi Black when he was Aleister Black, of course part of WWE. Did have a meet and greet one time long ago with my daughter when she was all into it, and he spent a lot of time with us. We talked about our mutual love for the greatest of all time, Boss Rutan, just a very nice guy for the interaction I had with him, so that was a lot of fun to meet him, and my daughter still talks about it from time to time. Not as much as she used to, but she talks about it. But you guys know me, face paint, tattoos, big antler mask. Man, there's a lot to like about this one here, and this one's one of those kind of consolidation prize for, or a consolation prize, not consolidation, but a consolation prize for those that missed out on the Supreme, and that Supreme figure, I'm not sure what's up with that. That could be one of the rarest wrestling figures of the last decade or so, once again. So we'll see what happens with that Supreme. But for those that missed out on that Supreme, you got a chance to get this one. Of course, we have an upcoming Vault one that's pretty deluxe as well. But this is a very cool figure, definitely toyetic, definitely one that catches your eye, and that's why Malachi Black comes in at number 6. We've reached the halfway point in our top 10 countdown. Make sure you put your list in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We got more lists to come as we finish off the best of 2023. But the number 5 selection here today was already on another top 5 countdown on the channel this year, and this was actually my number 1 female wrestling figure for 2023. Who is it? Well, we're going to the runaway herself. We've got Ruby Soho. Now, there's a lot of reasons I like this figure. It's a very colorful figure. They killed it on the tattoo detail. I love the heavy metal hands. I love the orange hair. Just a whole lot to like about this one here. But the character Ruby Soho, previously Ruby Riott, she was fine. I never had any issues with her. Never the top favorite of mine. However, once she comes into AEW and she comes out to Rancid, one of my all-time favorite bands is Rancid. And of course, Lars Fredrickson, good brother number 1, action figure collector supreme out there. Every once in a while he collects wrestling figures and stuff and sells them and does all that kind of stuff. So every once in a while he'll thumbs up a video or something of mine. It just blows my mind. As if you could tell 6th, 7th, 8th grade Kyle, who are we fooling, modern day Kyle, that, oh yeah, one day Lars is going to comment on something to you, it would just blow your mind, because I spent so many years in study hall listening to Rancid just over and over, of course. But Ruby Soho, a favorite back in the day, a favorite now, song that is, but man, it carries over to the character, feels really extra special when she comes out to that music. Toyetic figure, just a lot going for this one, and that's why it's the number 1 female wrestling figure of 2023 for me, and the number 5 AEW figure of 2023 for me as well. To the number 4 spot in the AEW countdown. Number 4 comes to us from AEW Unrivaled Series 13, a fairly recent release, and this one is, of course, The Butcher. Yes, Butch is here, of course. Happier days. He is no longer with AEW, it sounds like. The Butcher, Blade, and Bunny all went to greener pastures. Where that is, we're not sure yet, but we did get figures of that threesome here in 2023, which I'm happy of. Happy to always complete a faction. Of course, we unboxed the Bunny on the channel, but this one, very, very cool. Of course, AEW, one thing about their talent roster, not just their figures, a lot of their characters, a lot of their figures feel the same. They're all littler guys. They're all flippy-floppity guys. However, you get a guy like the Butcher every once in a while, a guy like Wardlow every once in a while, and it brings something different, an air of differentiation between some of the other figures. And that's what we got with the Butcher. Now, he still has the tattoos, and he's got some beautiful 70s, 80s glasses that look absolutely fabulous. They got the old school bald spot at the top looking good, nice leather jacket, a couple of fists of fury. Just a very, very strong figure, and just one of those cool eye-catching figures as well. Maybe not to some degree of some of the others, but man, this one looks really cool on the shelf. Looks different, feels different, just an all-timer of a figure, and that's why he's coming in here hot at number 4. Dangerously close to the end. We're at the final 3, and there is a thin hair of margin between the final 3 characters for me. Very, very close in this year-end best of list. However, there's got to be a number 1, there's got to be a number 2, there's got to be a number 3. There can be no ties, but the number 3 selection here comes to good friends of the channel, Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. But this one, an all-timer. I thought this one might squeak in the number 1 spot, but after I sat a while, he came in at number 3. And what are we talking about? We're talking about the Ringside Collectible exclusive, Danhausen. You know me, I'm a sucker for face paint. I'm a sucker for tattoos. I'm a sucker for a wired cape, so I like a lot of the hits this Danhausen's putting out there. The packaging design on this one, absolutely fabulous. When you open it up, he's holding his cape out like that. Just a very, very cool figure, and one of, obviously, the best wrestling figures here in 2023. A little of the shine got worn off, as we did get quite a few other Danhausen figures this year, outside of even Jazzwares, but specifically with Jazzwares as well. Maybe taking a little bit of the specialness off. Not much, though, but if this was the only one, maybe it would have felt a little bit more special, but by all means, it is still a very special figure. It is a must-have, strongly recommended figure for your collection. But for me, it's coming in at a very nice, very evil number 3. Down to the final 2, and as they do say, number 2, first loser? I don't know about that. As your definite winner if you picked up this figure in 2023. This was, once again, a Ringside Collectible exclusive, part of a box set, representing a dog collar match. It is the bloody CM Punk ringside collectible exclusive. And much like Danhausen, CM Punk had a lot of figures, of course, in his short stint in AEW. We got a lot of them, but every single one had a little bit of specialness to them. None more so than this one. Oh my goodness. You know, I'm a kid growing up in the 80s, tape trading ECW, Japan stuff, old school NWA, really soaking in as much wrestling knowledge as I ever could. And this one just brings me back to an era of true blood and guts, old school blood and guts matches in the NWA or Japan, ECW, wherever we're talking. Just a very cool representation of CM Punk. And I know CM Punk's polarizing. Hey, I get it all day long. I enjoy CM Punk's work. I enjoy what he's done for wrestling. I love this figure. I think this head sculpt on here is one of the best wrestling figure head sculpts of all time. That's how much I like this head with the blood on it. Beautiful blood peppered throughout on this one. Something about a blood and guts figure always is going to catch my eye. I'm a completist on this line, loose and mint on card. I'm excited to see where we get for blood and guts. We do know we got a Darby Allin, Brody King one right around the corner. Just a very fun time, a very fun representation of a segment of wrestling is the blood and guts. And the CM Punk one is absolutely phenomenal. He's coming in at number 2 in my year-end top 10 AEW figure countdown, which means there can only be one, like a young Highlander. Who comes in at number 1? Stay tuned. We've reached the number 1 spot in our top 10 countdown. You got your list together. Make sure you put it in the comments down below, and make sure you like and subscribe to this very YouTube channel and the other YouTube channel, as we got videos every single day and then some. But we're here at number 1, and number 1, probably not a surprise to many, probably going to be the top of a lot of people's lists this year. Of course, you may or may not like this character, but you got to admit it's an amazing figure. And coming in at number 1 is the Walmart exclusive AEW Supreme, of course, CM Punk. And as of right now, I got a mint on card one, and I got 2 different loose ones. I'm going to build out a CM Punk army out of these because they are more than one. They're like 50 figures in one with all the different combinations. We need a math magician out there to figure out how many different combinations there are of action figures between the different heads, hands, torsos, shirts, no shirts, all that kind of stuff for this figure, as it is absolutely truly supreme. It is the answer to the Mattel Ultimate line, is the Supremes. Some may say it's even more ultimate than ultimate. It's truly supreme. So there you go. But an amazing figure. Great head sculpts. Great accessories. Great packaging design. This one truly playing the greatest cliche of them all, playing all the hits. Absolutely love this figure. It is a Walmart exclusive. Very rare at first. Now, as I'm filming this, I can go to a few different Walmarts. He is sitting on the shelves, and that's a good thing. We shouldn't be selling out of Walmart exclusives just like that. They need to be evergreen for a quarter, 6 months, depending the exclusivity window on those. We need to have these on the shelf, and it looks like Jazzware is getting it done with that one right now. But a must-have figure in 2023. One of the best figures in the wrestling landscape in the last couple of years, no doubt about it. Very cool, very iconic, and a little bit of that Cody Rhodes effect. I think a lot of people that maybe weren't watching AEW, now that he's back in WWE, are picking this one up to play with their Mattel figures. I think we saw a lot of that with the Cody Rhodes Supreme as well. So it's interesting how that all works out. And you know Jazzwares, AEW, any of them, they're going to get as much money as they can out of these things. So if they can sell CM Punk figures as long as they can, they will definitely do that. But this Supreme one, an all-timer of a wrestling figure, it's one I would say you snooze, you lose, because I think years from now, this is going to be a very sought-after figure. It already kind of is, but even more so once it's long gone from the shelves. Just a very cool one, and I think one of the Mount Rushmore AEW figures by the time things are said and done. So AEW Supreme, Walmart exclusive, CM Punk, number 1 for 2023 for me. And one last time, going to ask you, put your list in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content for you, of course, on Patreon, including early access to these videos and all the videos from both channels. You also get exclusive videos over there, dog stuff, pizza stuff, toy reviews, you name it. It's all over there on the old Patreon every single day, and Patreon, best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for CM Punk and the rest of the top 10, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.